Hey everybody. I've been gone for a few days. I know this is like one of the longer breaks that we've had from streaming and whatnot, but it was much needed for sure. Yeah, hope everybody's been having a great week so far. Nova, what's your week comprised of? What you been up to, man?
Uh, Xbox.
Xbox, boxing it up. Anything in
Is there?
particular besides the trials?
Oh, I've been playing other stuff more than Trials, I'd say recently.
Yeah. I've been really been getting into Risk of Rain. You tried that game out?
I've literally been playing that. Yeah, that's fun.
Yeah, that's a great game. My buddies got me into that pretty recently, like beginning of the summer. That game out for a while now too, so that's good. Very fun game.
Yep.
Um, well, as the title says, the king is here. Nova, the king of all speedrunning, is among our presence here. We have been graced by Nova this fine day.
I'm
Um,
flattered.
yeah, man, and I think to start things off, I kind of want to know like when did you really start getting into trials, or have you always been just busting it out since like Evo Fusion? Kind of give me the rundown of like the history of how you got into trials, your origin story.
Well, I first started on Evo like 2013 after a friend from school told me to get it, but that I was just getting like gold medals and stuff. I never really started like speedrunning, trying to get high on the leaderboards and stuff till like probably 2015, like a little into Fusion. So yeah.
All right. Do you think I don't know, I felt like I really caught wind of you when Fusion was a thing. Like more so with
Yeah.
Fusion,
That was my
definitely.
game.
And I was really impressed, and you were one of the top people up there in Fusion, along with like Classy and Borads that I'd watch pretty consistently. A lot of those runs, a lot of the world record types of runs. How many records did you get in Fusion? Do you know? Do you have any recollection of that?
I want to say like six or six to like 10, somewhere in that. Not like an insane amount.
And fast forward it to now, how many world records do you have on Rising?
Currently like a little under 50.
Jeez, yeah, that's crazy, man. And Crafterman saying in chat, don't get me wrong, I love Nova, but the king of all speedrunning. I don't know if the king of all of it, but as of right now, Nova is the greatest speedrunner on Rising, hands down, in my book,
Okay.
by
I
far, man.
mean, yeah. I'd I'd like to think that.
I don't know. I think you've really made a name for yourself with the T tourneys in particular. Popping off on those is something special.
Those are always fun.
And
I
oh,
yeah.
go for it, man.
I'm I don't know what it is, but when I'm like under pressure, I perform much better. Like during like practicing for these tournaments, I do well. But then in the tournament, I even like do better than like my practice PBs and stuff.
Um, Talking about like practicing and whatnot, what do you do to prepare for like these big tournaments? Like if you were telling people that we're getting into these tournaments for the first time, it doesn't matter if it's like intermediate, if it's Wix tourney, or if it's like Sonic Sturkey speedrunning tournament. Like, what do you do to prepare for this kind of stuff?
Personally, I just, I see the track list. I play each of the tracks for at least like half an hour, and then closer to the actual tournament, um, I practice with Classy. So we do like practice 10-minute sessions and get under that.
So finding somebody that's like able to really push you to your limits
Yeah,
is
that's a good.
is always good. And I talk about that quite a bit. You know, if it's even if it's ninjas or some, or yeah, with ninjas too, along with speedrunning, is like find like a rival, like a friendly rival that you can compare yourself and like constantly be trying to best the other person that's around that same skill level. I think is very important.
That's that's what I've always said. Find someone just a little bit better than you, and then beat their time.
Yeah. Oh, sorry, Chase. I'll throw on the floaty. Probably next stream. Not for right now. Maybe at the very end. I'll throw it on for a little bit. But yeah, man. How long have you been playing the trial series in general? Did you start with HD?
No, I started very late Evo.
Late
I
Evo.
went and
Okay.
looked actually. Like I got my first Evo achievement like August 2013.
Okay. Nice. So you well, I mean, you've been playing for quite a while, but you didn't really start busting it out like
Yeah,
for a
I
year or
I
two.
started, yeah, 2 years till I really got into it.
So for like all the casual players out there, what do you recommend first, like to get into speedrunning?
Well,
What's the first step?
like I said earlier, it helps if you have like other people wanting to improve with you.
Yeah,
But if that's
true.
not the case, like I don't know, try to see what your like average rank is on most of the tracks, and if you can like find another person that's right around there,
Mhm.
try to beat them
Yep,
different tracks and stuff.
makes sense. Another question that a lot of people have asked me, and I thought about it a lot myself. How do you play standing up?
Oh, the classic question.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just stand up, I guess. My TV. See, I can sit.
Oh, you cut out a little bit there. Uh-oh.
I can sit.
Whoa. Where'd he go? Nova, you still there? Did we lose him? All right, can you hear me now?
Yeah, hello?
There we go. He's back.
Yeah, I don't know if you saw what Jitter said, but my internet past like 3 days has been horrendous. So I don't know if it will happen again, but
If it does, I guess we could try like text to speech stuff in the chat. I've never tried it, but
yeah, I hope I don't need to do that.
I've
That'd be
yeah, I'm
annoying.
not sure how well that would work out. I'd rather hear your soothing voice.
I'd rather talk as well.
Yeah, I just got to
Type
reboot it
very
up. Um, where were we? Standing up playing though. Did that
Yeah,
always was that always a thing? Like with a lot of the games as you were growing up, or did that start becoming more of a habit like as you got into trials?
I've always done it. I'm like, as far as I can remember.
Really? That's so interesting. I mean, I remember having
Um,
these sessions when like we'd play Mario Party, Mario Kart, like a bunch of really competitive games on all the Mario games. And like when people were getting serious, they'd start standing up and they'd start getting really intense into the game. So I totally get that.
yeah, I could sit down and play fine, kind of. I'm definitely better when I stand, but like I have to look upwards if I sit down. So if I stand up, it's eye level. That's really the main reason.
So do you have like a is it wall mounted for your TV? Like where
No, it's on like a stand.
Okay. So do you have one of those specialty tables that can like kind of extend up and down?
No,
Nothing like that?
that'd be cool.
No, I
No.
I know like, what's one of the main names? Like Markiplier for instance. Like he started doing everything standing up just cuz he's doing it for a living. He's sitting on his ass like all day long and it starts affecting you
I
quite a
mean,
bit.
yeah, it's definitely healthier, so
Mhm.
it's nice.
I feel like I have the worst circulation in my legs. Like I'll do these 6-7 hour sessions on trials every other day. And like it definitely affects me. I feel like I mean I've been trying to walk and jog with the dogs a lot more, but it's very hard to maintain that level of sitting. Oh, and I guess I have people, submitting push-ups for me to do in the chat. That always helps. Get the blood flowing a
Oh
little bit
yeah,
more.
couple.
You stand up when you're close to a PB or getting a plat tube internal. I feel like I start leaning forward a lot when I play. Do you get that too? when you play standing up? Like, do you just like lean closer and closer towards the screen?
No, I don't think I really move around at all.
No, just stationary, just letting it flow,
Pretty
standing up.
much.
Um, all right. Well, I want to move on to one of the next parts that we were. I think we were going to discuss this, actually, like not the last podcast, but I think it was a topic that we discussed a long time ago. What are your thoughts on task runs?
They're sick.
They're
I
pretty
love them.
sick. Yeah, I was
Yeah.
I was impressed at first with what Storm Psychos did. And what Storm did, for anybody that doesn't know, actually, we should begin with what a task run is: the tool-assisted speedrun. And basically, what the goal is you're trying to get frame perfect inputs throughout an entire run. And there's been some ninjas that have been done, especially on. I mean, everything's been on Fusion. There's been no task runs on Rising because of how inconsistent the physics are, according to Aris. And I'm not sure if Storm said the same thing, but Aris said that it's very inconsistent to do. So it's these frame perfect runs, and there's been ninja tracks. There's been like sabotage individuals, and I think Aris is working on Final Sorrow at the moment. I'm really interested to see how that goes. It's probably going to take a very long time. Those checkpoints are extremely long and tedious, and all back row only, so it can be kind of rough. But Storm started off as doing slow motion and would play the game at about, I think it was like 30% speed or something like that. Correct me if I'm wrong, chat. But Aris ended up taking the reins and went a lot further with that, and he was able to make perfect inputs throughout an entire track. And I think to start the tracks, Aris would be taking the world record runs and trying to replicate them to the best of his ability. There was one instance on Way of the Machine where at a certain point, I think it was like the first 10 or 15 seconds or something, Classy was actually faster than the task bot. So
I remember that.
Aris was kind of slacking on that beginning, but there's some crazy time savers that are, uh, not humanly possible, to consistently hit doing these types of strategies. And I just wanted to get your thoughts and opinions on all that type of stuff. And like, what's your favorite task run out there so far?
Great task run. Probably Red Link's Derby, the one that Ars did. I think that's an insane run.
Mm-hmm. I think that was probably one of the longest times that he spent doing a task run as well. It was like, what, close to 24 hours? I know that the Way of the
Oh yeah.
Machine was like 18, 19-hour grind to get that all situated, because he's got to go back and forth constantly with the track. He's got to replay it over and over and over and over again to get just the right, frames per run. 18 hours on Red Link's Way of the Machine was 12. Okay. Thank you. And going back to Tubing Turtle fans, if you guys have a bunch of other questions that you guys want to ask Nova, please hit them up in the chat. I'll do my best to read all that stuff. But yeah, what's your favorite track overall? I guess we're talking about Rising.
Rising, probably Thousand Cloud Village
Why
or
Thousand Cloud?
Flying Fin. Those are probably my two favorites.
How come for the Thousand Cloud? I'm not too big of a fan of that one. I got kind of whooped. I haven't practiced that one at all. I guess that's probably why I don't like it that much.
It's like it's really consistent. Like there isn't anything crazy, like too crazy on the track to hit. Like really easy, I guess. It's all about just optimizing it to the best you can.
Yeah. And what was the other one? The Flying Fin?
Yeah, fine.
The other favorite one? Those are some pretty good ones. I really like the Flying Fin. Um, for me personally, I mean, I loved the hard and extreme, the technical lines. I feel like I thrive so much more on those ones. But how about like overall? Like if you were to go down the list of all the trials games, like what is your favorite from each one, if you can? It's pretty hard to think to recall all those.
Mm, I don't know if I can say from HD, but from Evo, I really like um what is that one track? I don't remember what it's called. Um
What's it look like? Give us a description. Maybe somebody can help in the chat.
Cliff Jumper. That's really fun
Okay,
from Evo.
nice.
Fusion, I'd probably say like Hades Departure is one of my favorites. Freeze.
I don't know like any of the names from Eva or Fusion anymore. I never really busted out any of the speedrunning for those games. I couldn't get into it. I was just too obsessed with Track Central.
Yeah.
How about the greatest
I
game ever? How about Blood Dragon? What's your favorite from there? Do you
Blood Dragon.
do you know any names from that one?
I do. I think it's called Triangulation is one track I really like, actually.
Well, you know what? We're gonna be having a Blood Dragon stream pretty soon, I think. We're getting there. I think we're like 3/4 of the way there. I've been having people submit, the channel points for a Blood Dragon stream, and it's been going for I think about a month and a half now. It's been a while.
Oh boy.
Oh, how about Track Central? Is there any specific like standout tracks that are your favorites in Track Central?
Vertigo from Amorphous on Rising is probably my favorite.
Vertigo. That was the more recent
Yeah, it's new.
skyscraper one. I still have yet to play Amorphous new one. He's got like an army base one. What was that one called?
Oh, I played that like last night.
You play
I didn't
that?
really put time into it, but I don't know what it's called.
The Vertigo one seemed like that had a really crazy diamond on it, and I was struggling to get that one. I still haven't busted that one out. Active Duty. That's the one. Yeah, that's the newest one that Amorphous made. That guy is something else, I tell you.
He makes the best tracks. 100%.
Yeah. We're definitely going to be including some. I've been slacking on doing the Track Central speedrun tourney. I was like, oh yeah, we'll be doing the speedrun tourney at the end of this month, and I just never got around to like actually pinning down the tracks that I wanted to have on that tournament. But now I think I have better sense of what we're gonna do, and we're gonna do that at the end of September. I was talking to T, and I think Wick is Wick doing something in the middle of the month this month.
I don't know.
But either way, yeah, we're gonna be doing the Track Central speedrun tourney. I know we already discussed that a little bit before, um, and I wanted to get your help with picking out some tracks definitely for that speedrun competition.
Yeah, I'd be down for that.
Well, are you?
I'd make sure no bad tracks get through.
Yeah, no, happy camper like RNG crazy Omega Pogger slides like all the time through it.
Yeah.
But I know Amorphous is definitely going to be on the list of some tracks that we'll play for. We'll try to have a good variety. I think it's going to be around like 27 tracks or something. That's what we had for the Ninja tournament as well. So will you be participating? I think in the Track Central speedrun tourney. This is going to be of all skill
Most
levels.
likely.
Yeah, this will be all skill levels for anybody that wants to get into that. I'm gonna announce the track. I'm still not sure. I think I was gonna use the Wonderworld track for the qualifier.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah, because that one actually has a pretty tough diamond on it too. I thought that track would be very fitting for people to do that. But yeah, I'll announce that pretty soon. We'll get into that more in the coming week. I'll get all the tracks posted to the Discord so people can start practicing it, but expect that tournament to be at the end of September. Don't do it on the 25th of September. That's your birthday. Might not be on. It'll probably be like the very, very end of September. last week. But anyways, moving right along. Oh, actually, I wanted to talk about the task run just for 1 minute longer. Um, Probably my favorite run of that. I really like the way of the machine. I like the comparison videos. Quite
Yeah,
a
Wave
bit of
Machine
watching that.
really good.
Um, oh, and there's been some other talk in the Discord talking about like the issues that are possibly brought up and the controversies around task runs. I believe it was Dave that was talking about this, and he was like saying something about if Final Sorrow. So actually, hold on. Let me backtrack a little bit. Let me ask you the question of this, Nova. Would you want to see a task run of a track that hasn't been humanly beat yet?
Yeah,
So like you're able to compare and like just see how ridiculous a run can be.
that I think that'd be awesome to see just how far you can push some technique and stuff.
Yeah, so there's a little bit of a controversy, and I understand. I think I get what people are saying about this, but personally for me, I would love to see tracks beat that are not humanly possible. It's what the task is
Yeah.
for. Um, but that's not to say I don't want specific tracks to only be completed by tasks. It's a totally different side of things here. I want to make sure that people have actually tested these tracks out, that these checkpoints are doable, but people are just not consistent enough. And people
Okay.
could
Yeah.
raise task ghosts. I like that too, Jay Baki. Yeah, that's a good point. See if you can compete with a robot. But yeah, there's stuff on like Mario, for instance. There's a bunch of like Kaizo Mario stuff that they've showed at GDQ that are only specifically for the task bot. They're not humanly possible. I don't necessarily want to see that, but I don't know.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on it?
I mean, I still think it'd be cool to just see like an outrageous track being built, like just for once, just to see how nuts it can really be. But I can see where you're coming from.
Yeah, I think. I mean, I'm sure there's like a lot of crazier techniques that are out there that just aren't humanly consistent that you could see on tasks.
Yeah.
You know, like like we could probably get some wacky run. You know how Mario can phase through walls. Like you can somehow get your bike like phase through walls and stuff if you know build up speed a certain
On
way.
what's that one track on Fusion where End of Assembly like drove through the ramp and got record? Do you know what I'm talking about?
No, I'm not sure. Was there some glitch or some bug?
Yeah. Megapolis, what Ara said. Yep. He drove through the ramp at the end and he's first.
I remember there was what was the there was an Evo track. We talked about this previously. We were associating like Steve Cod, like that weird physics bug that happened at the beginning of Canyon
Oh yeah.
Crash. There's something on Evo where there was like a log you could do that and you could consistently like get it to
You gotta do
glitch
it.
out.
I've sadly gone for that back in my day, but I've never hit
Shame.
it.
Shame on you.
Yeah. Exposed.
Oh, and then the same thing with the recent Tilting at the Windmills was kind of the same. Like you could expose the weakness of that track and you know.
I've gone for that also.
I wouldn't say that's necessarily a new technique. It's just exploits. I think that's just all there is to it.
It's just funny to see. I don't think it's that great. Like I don't know. It's
Hmm.
funny.
How can Nova speak? He's not human. Care to elaborate on this? People think you're a task bot as well, Nova. Is this true?
No, I wouldn't take it that far.
He's only human, but he's one beastly human when he's on the bike. That is for damn sure. The next thing, let's see. We talked about the the build competition a little bit, and associating the Track Central speedrun tourney. Um, there was actually a new tourney, or not a new tourney, but a new building challenge that's happening. Did you hear about this one at all, Nova?
Not after like the SBC one.
Okay. So there's one that Izez Princess is having another build competition. If you guys are interested in this, it's going to be a Halloween oriented. It's called the Trials Nightmare Building Challenge. And I believe, I don't know, the only thing that I saw it on like the Trials group for the Facebook page, but I got to make sure I expose that one a little bit more so people know. So I actually kind of want to build something. I still have yet to build a speedrun track, and I said I was going to do that for the SBC1 just because I was so inspired by all these other tracks. I never finished up a speedrun line. Have you ever made a speedrun line, Nova? And would you ever participate in like a building competition such as this?
I have made like a lot of tracks, honestly, in Fusion. I've made a couple pages worth, but I've never really like tried making a track. Like I've never cared about deco at all. I just sort of throw down a line and just go with it. I
Hmm.
don't think I've ever spent more than like 5 hours on a track.
I remember that the bomb tracks that you've made, those are really fun.
Yeah,
The bomb,
those are really fun to make.
yeah, the bomb physics ones. Nobody ever makes those either. You're like one of the few people that like specifically have made these types of the bomb exploding like the physics bomb
Yeah,
ninjas. They're really cool. What made you want to build those?
because in Fusion, like if you didn't use triggers and other you know physics or whatever, like the bombs would just launch you on its own without um killing you
Yeah, and you're
if you
like,
hit it
damn,
in the right
this is
way.
a sweet time saver. I'm gonna do this for a ninja track.
Yeah, I always thought it was cool because I remember there was a few tracks in Track Central of builders that weren't, the most skilled, and they put bombs in their track that they didn't really do anything else with other than a bomb. So you can just launch to like the end of the map. Oh, track, sorry. And then yeah,
Course
that
actually.
is.
The Giga course, the Giga map.
So anything other than track is a swear word.
Mm. Yeah, you owe $1 to everybody in the chat whenever you say it. It'll be a new
Yeah.
rule from now on. Taylor has a question for you. So, what are your thoughts on the paid bikes in Rising?
Other than the Scarab, I enjoy them. I think they're fun, and it's like stupid, but it's fun. You know,
Yeah, stupid fun
playing
bikes.
tracks and bikes.
Which one is your favorite? I guess we'll say goofy bike.
Yeah, I'd 100% the alpaca without a doubt.
My man, that's the bike. Love that one
It
so
is.
much. Did you? I know that you played my Alpaca Ninja. Did you play any of like Dave's Alpaca Slacker 1 and 2, or Nugget had one?
Um, Not really. I don't really like alpaca focused tracks, honestly. I like using the alpaca on tracks that aren't made for.
Mm-hmm.
That's my thing.
Yeah, dude, how hard was that grind for the white belt through orange belt Alpaca? What'd you think about that?
Oh, white belt was super fun. I I don't know if I timed out or not. I might have. I know on yellow I timed out a couple times. And orange I didn't even think was possible until you did it, and then I did it on stream like next day.
Yeah, I
So
I thought I thought the last checkpoint was so difficult. That one was ridiculously hard to do.
Yeah, it was that one and like 4, I think. I couldn't do 4 initially.
Yeah, there was tough parts all over it, and yeah, I wasn't allowed. Like the alpaca wasn't allowed on there for good reason, but I still wish that they would have had the alpaca have like a leaderboard of its own for the ninja tracks. That'd be cool.
Yeah, I just think they should allow it on everything, even if it isn't like possible to
Yep.
see.
Yeah, I don't think anybody has still gotten King Crab on Hong Kong Harbor, and that one was supposedly doable.
Yeah, that it looks so possible. That one checkpoint
Yeah, I
was
don't
so
know. The
close.
the bike it just stays too low to the ground. Like when you were playing all these goofy bikes, what was the hardest one for you to get down?
Uh, I guess you could say Tevatron, but I haven't really played with that one very much. But I do not like that bike at all. It's so bouncy and weird.
It's weird. Yeah, it has that back wheel that flops around just all the time. It's
Yeah.
very strange to guide. I would say the Tevatron was the hardest for me to get used to, but I think it has a lot more capabilities than the Alpaca even, which is crazy to me. And it has even crazier like inverted climbing capabilities than the Crab. And I
Yeah.
thought the Crab was OP with that. I could have sworn the Crab was gonna keep that medal, but no, not the case. You can go pre-invert for long time. It was like, gosh, what did I get up to? It was like minus, or no, it was like plus 14 more degrees. I think there was a skill game where you could adjust the hill climb, and you can go really 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 steep. Just stick to it. The magnet effect. Oh, RS was bringing up the shopping cart. What do you think about the shopping cart on Canyon Crash?
Ah,
I
I
mean,
don't
it's
know.
kind of
It's
a
a little
meme at this
different.
point.
I think the shopping cart requires more skill than the Scarab. So it is better on like what 2 tracks, but I don't know. T is just insane at it, and I don't think anyone else is close to on the cart.
Has
So
has T ended up getting the plat on Giga?
I don't think so.
I know he's been constantly busting his ass on that.
Yeah.
Got to respect that grind. I can't play that track, man. That track is such a snooze fest for me. Um, I don't know. It's just not really what Trials is about for me. But it's a cool endurance test, and it's fun to play through with goofy bikes. At least in my opinion. Um, I don't know if I ever got your thoughts on the Gigatrack, but tell me.
I I like it like as a idea, but I don't think they executed it very well.
I think
I
it's.
like the evil one more, a lot more.
Do you think the
Like
one
this
on
one,
Rising's too long, or
I don't think length is a problem. It's just some of the time savers are pure RNG with like tire glitches, and it just makes you reset even though it's not your fault. Like
tire glitch
8
is
minutes
fixed,
in.
by the way? Just
Yep.
yep, throwing that in. Is it like the long coasting sections that get a bit sketchy?
I wouldn't mind them if they weren't tire glitchy, but yeah, that's definitely my main complaint.
And those are like really deep into the run, so it throws like what 9-10 minutes out the window when you finally reach
Yep.
those spots.
Pretty much.
That's rough.
Not good.
Rough stuff. Oh, how did you do the alpaca on the Gigatrack? I couldn't get that. I still haven't gotten that large jump, like CP29 or something.
Oh, you should go back to that.
Yeah,
I
I gotta
actually
try that
PB'd
again.
it recently,
You did? What'd you
like
get?
a week ago. Yeah. Um, like maybe 20 faults or something.
At
Really, the
first,
hardest one is just that check
yeah, at
big jump.
at first I couldn't even get the jump over the sun. I was like, what am I doing wrong with this? I didn't know how to
That
lean
one's
right,
weird.
and I just couldn't get the right momentum going. I don't know what it was. And then the one after that, I was like, this is impossible. I can't land like deep enough. I would just bounce around everywhere. You have to get a really good jump so you hit a dip just perfectly and just can fly through it. Hmm.
Yeah, it's the hardest checkpoint. After that, it's free.
Well, okay, I'll give you a deal here. I will get the alpaca done on the Gigatrack, but I want you to try out and give me your thoughts on like Alpaca Slacker 1 and 2, those Dave Ninja alpaca tracks.
I'll check them out. I do. I do like the alpacas. We'll see.
Definitely give that a try. Um, okay. Well, we went a little off tangent there, but that's all right. This is a casual. This is just nice and relaxed, just kind of going with the flow with this. I was about to talk about the Trials Nightmare building challenge a little bit, then we went off that tangent. Um, Actually, I think we already we covered. I think we covered that pretty well. I'll post something in the Discord. I'll make sure I announce that in mine and the Trials Discord. I'll talk to Izez about it and make sure that people are in the know-how about it, I guess. Um, the next thing I actually wanted to talk about. So this was something that I saw on the Discord chat, and you were a part of this conversation. I was like, huh, this actually might be something that we can cover here. But the best and worst obstacles in the Trials series, and
Oh yeah.
I saw people were talking about box climbs, and this made me think about like what my favorite obstacles are, what my worst obstacles are, what took me the longest time to get down, so on and so forth. Um, well, since we brought up box climbs, and since that was like the first thing that kind of generated this, let's discuss that for a brief moment. Um, I I don't know. There's a certain extent to what box climbs can do, and then it gets really annoying after a while, and then you just get higher and higher. It's
Yeah.
like you see these Dave walls on a 90-degree
Day.
corner, and you're like, I don't know, this is kind of boring. I know throttle is fun, but only to a certain extent. How about you? What do you think about box climbs?
Hate them. Least favorite obstacle
Least
in
favorite
the
right off
trial.
the bat, yeah.
Fender climbs close.
Fender climbs too.
Yeah.
How come for fender
It's
climbs?
when they just put the wall like so high, so it's just ridiculous. Like I don't know.
I know that move
They
is
need to hit it
impossible
perfect.
with like keyboard. Have you ever tried doing it on keyboard before? I think fender climbs are the hardest move in the game when you're on keyboard.
I have not tried. No.
Yeah, that is stupid difficult. But how about
Doesn't
everybody
sound
else in
very.
the chat? I'd like to hear just say one of your least favorite obstacles. Go. While we keep going here. Um Now on the opposite end, hey
Donut.
Panda.
A year for Novapog champ.
Thank you, man. I thought I turned off the notifications. my my bad. Thank you so much, Panda. I'm gonna probably mute that now. Thanks for the year, man. Um, Going off of the least favorite, I'm kind of indifferent about the box climbs. There was a track called Glowbox. Do you ever see that one on Fusion?
I've heard of it.
It
I'd
is.
assume it's just a bunch of boxes.
It's
Box.
disgusting. Yeah, like the full of it's like ninja. I don't know, ninja level baguette. I guess I'm not sure what to say. It is, but yeah, it's really fun. Like I played through the plus CPs of it, and I beat that a couple of times. But man, I don't know if there's any way to be consistent at those. At least for my range right now, it seems so gross. And is it the French community that's like really into box climbs? What is the deal with that?
I don't know. All I know is that glow box is insane, Adam. I don't really. Yeah.
I think that's Glowbox's favorite move by far.
He's
Probably,
insane. I don't
I'd
get
be
it.
under the assumption that he loves those so much. But for me, I think the opposite end of things. Like my favorite, I love monkey bar stuff because you can do so much stuff with monkey bar techniques. And I used to
Monkey
hate them.
bars are pretty cool.
I despised them for quite a while because they felt so awkward. I didn't know that type of bike control, but it requires a different type of control that you don't normally experience on any other track. Being able to, flip your bike around and spin it and launch off of these bars, but they have to be built right. There's so many instances where monkey bars have gone to shit because either the spacing is too wide or too narrow, or it's like off center, like they weren't properly placed next to each other and like glued into a group. So that is my
Yeah,
my biggest gripe with monkey bars. But when they're done right, I think those are some of my favorite obstacles in the trial series.
they're pretty cool, unique. It's not really like other techniques.
Yeah. Um, I don't know. What are some of the other like biggest techniques? I mean, there's so many to do with front wheel only or back wheel only control. Are you a fan of front wheel back wheel stuff?
I'm a fan of front wheel back wheel, but pure back wheel I absolutely despise.
Yeah.
I've ranted at it before. I don't know. I just think all back wheel only tracks are so similar. It's boring after a while. It's just the same like few techniques in every track.
I feel you there. I I used to be on that same boat, but something happened to me. I don't know what it was, but actually, you know what? I think I do know what it is. It was playing Rising for such a long period of time without fusion, and then being able to come back. Like I despise the front wheel back wheel stuff quite a bit on Rising. Actually, I do like to play it every once in a while. There are some banger tracks out there, but in general, I don't really like it because of how stiff the bike feels. And then I go back to
Oh yeah.
fusion, and it's a completely different world, and it feels so much more satisfying to get that throttle control down on a back wheel climb track. Although, to be fair, a lot of the stuff do look kind of similar. I agree with that.
Yeah. And back wheel only stuff is definitely like my weakest part of my ninja ability. So I bet if you're like good at it, it's enjoyable just to like destroy so many tracks that are like that. But yeah.
Yeah, yeah. It's you have to slowly, I think, work your way through. When I did back wheel tracks for the first time, it was, or I remember the biggest turning point for me was AMG. That was, I mean, that's a really boring looking track, but that was like a big turning point for me was getting back wheel control down, so I was able to extend my abilities for more tracks. I was able to have more consistency throughout so many other types of tracks. So that was a big one. I think back wheel control is really important, but I think further on in your ninja career, I guess, so to say.
Yeah. If you want to be insane at ninjas, you got to be a freak at back wheel stuff because that's like the meta, I guess you could say.
It is the meta for fusion, and it's not so much for rising. It's not as fun
True.
anymore for
On
rising.
Rising, you just magnet front wheel hit it.
Yeah,
Not
yeah.
good.
It seems like the front wheel just it snaps to the wall. Even before it seems like the wheel has touched it, which kind of sucks. But that's okay because it's spurred so many other types of technical tracks that are very fun. A lot of different techniques too can be had with the technical stuff. And Miss Rose, thank you for the raid. Welcome everybody to the podcast. We got Novastxr here, the man, the myth, the legend, the speedrunning god. Chase was asking about the helium. What are your thoughts on the helium Nova?
Uh, I kind of wish it didn't exist, but since it does exist, like for speedrunning's sake, there's a few people in the community that just refuse to use the helium because I don't know, they just don't want to use it because it's not enjoyable. But my thought process is that it's just the better bike on some speedrun tracks, so I just use it. It's not that deep, you know. But I just wish it wasn't a thing.
Yeah, I think it was a little overtuned
Definitely.
because being able to suspend yourself on a vertical wall and even a inverted wall is too powerful.
Yeah.
I mean, I love the bounciness of it. That bike has some bouncing capabilities. A big flaw I think of hitting massive bounces though is your arms get glitched out and it go through the handlebars and then you can't hop
Yeah,
properly. You can't lean
that's the
correctly.
worst. That's the worst part. Just elbows turn inside out and you can't.
Yeah, you dislocate your joints and it's like it becomes so inconsistent. Like sometimes in the middle of a run you might snap out of it. Did you have that happen during a run? Like a world record run? You got a world record when your
Why do you ask?
elbows
'Cause
were
that's
disjointed.
yeah. On my Seaside Meltdown record, arguably like the best in the game, like my elbows were like inverted or something. And there was a couple people that said that it made me go faster because like the center of mass was off, which I don't believe that, but I don't know. I think it's funny.
Yeah. But going back to what you said about people don't have that much fun with using the helium, I'm in that boat. There are some extreme tracks and I guess there's some hard tracks as well. That's are quite a bit easier with the helium. I don't enjoy to use the helium though, and I try to stray as far away from it as I can. And for I guess getting through all these diamonds, like that's one of the main goals that I have this year is to get diamonds on all the base game and DLC. I'm not worrying about the track pack stuff quite yet, but once I get through those, I'll probably go back through and then try to PB on the helium is kind of my bet.
Yeah, that'd be good.
But speaking of goals, do you have any particular goals? I guess being the 4-time champ for the upcoming the next upcoming T-turn. I'm not sure when he's going to do that. Probably, I think he was saying in October, end of October.
Oh yeah. On Rising, I don't really have any goals. Like I don't really know what to shoot for next. I'm just gonna keep, playing, do what I do, try to do as good as I am in these tournaments.
Mm-hmm.
But on Fusion Ninjas, I still wanna pass a 7, but I don't know. I just can't grind that much. I don't know. I want to do it, but at the same time, I don't. Grind is.
Yeah. Well, if you go for one, go for Sabotage on Fusion because I swear that track's a level 5. Just kidding. I'm gonna trigger some
I'm
people
going
in the
for
chat. You're gonna go for Sumrak for the first one.
I've done it. I've done plus EPs.
Okay.
I've definitely played. I think Sumrak would be easier than Sab for me, honestly. Like
Well,
my back wheel control is trash.
yeah,
and
you
my
already said
throttle.
the back wheel's kind of questionable. Oh, how about you should try Within. That's a really fun one too, the Zack track.
I'm thinking about that, like after a couple more sevens.
I know that's
get to that.
a much bigger learning curve, but I want to set a goal of trying to beat that one. I think this year. That's probably the next 7 that I'm gonna do.
Probably like the best level 7 that exists. Best made.
Yep. How about like streaming wise? It doesn't seem like I don't, or maybe I miss you a bunch of times. Do you stream like pretty often?
Not that much anymore. I've been trying to stream. I think I streamed Fusion like a couple of days ago, playing the new Peach track by Globe.
That one looks
Great
pretty
track, by the
sick.
way.
Yep.
Yeah, I've streamed a couple times in the last like couple weeks, like just getting like rising records and stuff. But I don't know. I'm so inconsistent streaming. I wish I wasn't, but
Yeah, I wish
it
you
is
were.
what it is.
I wish you were more consistent with streaming as well. What's holding you back from being more consistent with streaming?
I don't know.
Is it
It's
just
just
like motivation stuff?
sometimes I'm just in the mood to do it, and sometimes I'm not.
Fair enough. And I know that you like to play a lot of other games, and that's good too. Um,
Yeah.
to have a variety of stuff and not be stuck with a game for too long. So like, for instance, for me, like even though I exclusively stream Trials, I do like to play other games, like off stream with my bro and a couple other buddies. We exclusively play like once or twice a week. And Risk of Rain's been the big one for me. I've been loving that game.
I've actually streamed that 2 weeks ago.
You did. Nice. Nice, nice. Um but speaking of other games, I kind of want to go off a different tangent here. Do you think there are specific games that help you with your gameplay with Trials?
I wouldn't say there's like games that directly influence your trial skill, but I guess I like playing other competitive games, and Trials is also very competitive, so I guess it helps my drive
Mhm.
improving
Yeah.
competitive.
Yeah, definitely. I think any sort of like hand-eye coordination, um, games that require a lot of dexterity and timing can help out a lot. Like,
Rocket League.
yes, that's a good
A
one.
lot of good Trials players are insane at Rocket League for whatever reason. I am not one of those players, but yeah, I'm like gold in Rocket League.
I used
But
to play a ton of Rocket League, um, back on the Xbox. Back when my Xbox was still kicking. I mean, it's just been collecting dust this past year, but Rocket League's a really good one because it's a physics based, but it's also a little more team based. I guess if you're getting into more like 3v3 stuff,
yeah,
definitely. Globe was saying that Nova's one of the most entertaining streamers on Trials, in your opinion. Always love sitting in the chat with you. What's the
appreciate that.
general vibe of your streams? I know you're smashing speedruns, but
Um, I just I'm trying to provide like high tier gameplay while interacting with chat. What it is?
you've had some really funny conversations. What was the other question? It was
Yeah.
like gamer girl bathwater. What was that one? What were your thoughts on?
Yeah, I said I'd like some gamer girl pee also as a
Oh,
joke.
yum. Plenty of electrolytes probably in that.
Yeah, most likely. I like to just be entertaining. I like focusing on being entertaining rather than like just pure gameplay.
Yeah,
I like.
it's got to be a mixture of both. Definitely, got to have some entertaining factors while gaming. I mean, especially with Trials, like I guess if you're some League of Legends streamer, like you can get away with just being god tier and just curb stomping people like all day long without talking, but that's not really the case with Trials. You got to be, I think, a lot more interactive and be talking it up with the peeps.
Well, yeah, like the trials community is very, very tight knit, so everyone knows each other, so you can always have good conversations and stuff while streaming.
The other one Taylor brought up, what would happen if you sunk an island?
Yeah, that's a
I
classic.
I still remember the panda, the montage, all the funny moments, the mind
He needs to make
explosion.
another one.
He does.
That's my favorite trials video. Second favorite. Yeah.
Oh, actually, I don't know. Tell me if I'm wrong about this. I swear, my favorite Trials video, it's got to be Oso Guinea Pigs, the zero fault montage of Malik.
Oh, Malik. Yeah,
I
that's a insane
I
video.
think that's the most well edited Trials video I have ever seen. Not necessarily the
I agree.
funniest. I think those always go to Panda montages, the meme compilations. But yeah, all-time favorite videos got to go Oso's. Where's that guy been, anyways? He needs to make
I
another
have no
track.
clue. Yeah, he makes great shots.
I think he's been working as I think he got like IT certification now.
Oh,
Miss Rose doesn't know which video I'm talking about. It is a zero fault compilation of Estilu, Mr. also known as Malik.
Bizarre.
Wait, who's still on the floor after tripping over the headphones? Who's he talking about? Oso?
Oso. Have you ever seen that clip? He like trips. It was like a drunk stream. He like trips, falls on the floor.
Oh, yeah,
Hilarious.
I do. Yeah, I do recall that. Yep. Anyways, moving right along. There's actually a couple of topics that we did not get to in the last session for the podcast that I really wanted to talk about. I don't want to forget this time because I think that these are some good ones to discuss. First one I wanted to discuss. We've talked about this in my stream, but I wanted to get your thoughts on it. And it is allowing more ways to earn acorns, especially for builders.
That's good.
I know you're not a builder in particular, but I think this is something to bring up with everybody. I know that many of you have already heard me talk about this, but I want to accentuate it even more because I think it's really important. I don't know if anything's going to happen about this. I really wish that they would implement this in like another Trials game, hopefully. I'm being very optimistic here. But like winning in build competitions, I think that's a given with the amount of acorns that people are supplied. I've talked to Shogun. I've talked to like Kiba and Mr. Dr. Pink, UB Pink, about like, you know, giving the winners acorns and stuff. But I also think that it would be nice if people could gain acorns by landing in the community picks and the staff picks.
That'd be nice.
And the reasoning behind this, it's a lot bigger of an incentive, I think, for people to build really good tracks to be featured. But
it definitely drive people to build.
Yeah,
Tracks ultimately the end game, I guess. You can only play career for so much.
Yeah, it's an infinite game. I think when you get a community together that are really pushing out some top tier builds, it's a beautiful thing to see. And that's why I put on these competitions too. Is I like to give a big incentive for those that are willing to invest the time, you know, to hopefully get some sort of prize or recognition from that stuff. But you know what would be tough about like landing in community and staff picks? I don't know if there would be like a fixed rate of acorns that everybody would receive that get into those top picks, or would it be a ratio on upvotes? Like, who's to say? I don't know.
I think if you'd go off like and stuff, you'd get some people that just spam like mediocre tracks. Like I don't know. I think it could be bad. Some people want to, you know, farm acorns and stuff.
Yeah, that's why I wouldn't want this to be based on a ratio of upvotes. It would only be exclusive to like community and staff picks, because I think that those ones are hand selected by the peeps over at Red Links. A big downside of it would be like people, as you said, people would just be pumping out these mediocre tracks just to hopefully get some ground on one of them, and it would be quantity over the quality, which is definitely not what we want to see.
There were not multiple. There's like a few Track Central builders. I'm not gonna call them out, but they would always just re-release their old tracks over and over and over and over again, just to spam out tracks and, you know, have stuff to play. And I hated it so much.
That's actually a great point. I thought about that recently. I think that, I don't know. Like, it's one thing if it's if it's from Fusion and you're like remodifying it and re-releasing it on Rising, I think that's okay as long as you get the consent from the previous, like the original builder. That's cool to me.
Yeah.
But
Oh no, I'm not talking about different people uploading a track
you're just talking
from
about the
someone else.
same release over and over again.
Same guy just putting it out again.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, some weeks they do really bad, and I guess they think, when a lot more people, whenever there's like maybe a free sale or if there's like some huge discount on trials, you'll see this big influx of people, and then maybe they'll re-release their track again and try to gain more traction that way. I don't really like that mentality, that philosophy, whatever you want to call it. Yeah, just make an original piece.
Agreed.
Original pieces are the way to go, and I think will inspire more people in the long run. If you can show people in the community that you're able to build more than just one thing and have it be successful, then congrats. Like, that's good. Good on you.
Yep. You don't see Amorphous re-releasing his tracks because he can build a new one every couple weeks and have it be a banger.
Yep. That is a form of a top tier builder. Another thing I want to talk about with these acorns, potential acorns for building stuff, is there would have to also be some differences in like the amount people would earn for speedrun lines compared to ninja lines. Because I think with some of these speedrun lines, the easy through extreme, they can get thousands of upvotes on them and get a lot more people filtering through. Whereas these ninja tracks, they don't gain nearly as much traction, and a lot of people are not able to pass them and to enjoy them to their fullest extent. So I don't know. There would also have to be some other implementation of like, this is just an example. Like, and they don't even have a ninja section for community picks or staff picks usually. There might be a couple strewn in there every once in a while. Like I saw Chadwick's track was on there. I guess that's like one really good example. Chadwick can get onto the spotlight, the big picks.
Yep.
But yeah, it would have to be much different. I'm not sure how it would be implemented, but I don't know. I'd be willing to talk to some more people about it if it could actually become a thing, to get more people on board with building and to keep the Track Central thriving and alive for a very long time, because you can only play a career for so long, as you said. It's a little tiresome eventually.
If there was no Track Central and Fusion, I don't know if I'd be playing the game right now. Like I spend at least half of my hours on Track Central tracks.
Yeah, I probably spent like 90% of my time for Track Central on Fusion. And I never really hopped in the editor. And then I speed ran every, once a blue moon on Fusion. It was not very consistent from me at all. But anyways, yeah, more acorns or more prizes or something, or just have send people posters, send people some sort of trials swag for landing into these top picks, or getting onto the world map. Could be another thing where people could earn, some more credit to their account. Stuff like that.
That's true. But I don't know if it's just me, but I've always noticed
at least one of the world map tracks have been utter trash. Like they always have one high tier track, one mid tier track, and one just trash one.
Yeah, I don't know. I haven't noticed this in a while, but I talked about this with Panda quite a bit, and it was that there's like some sort of an algorithm that would be implemented for like, I think it was just the amount of upvotes that people were getting, and they would be put on there because it'd be like these really low mapiste, my tracks, that could sometimes end up on there, and I ended up sending some messages to people. I haven't noticed it recently, but I'm gonna keep my eye on it for more of that.
Yep.
Let's move on to so what do you think about the finale of like the Rising content? They're pretty much all done with the content. The Gigatrack was the last. It was the farewell.
It's kind of sad because I don't think the finale was like the greatest. I think the Tevatron is one of my least favorite bikes, and Gigatrack was a letdown. So I'm not a fan, but it is what it is.
Yeah, it is sad news. Do you think that this means that there still won't be any more updates with the game either?
I'd hope there would be, but
Yeah,
who knows?
I don't know if you've
Because
heard
Track
anything.
Central is still a mess.
Yeah, I don't know if you've heard anything differently about like if there's going to be any more updates, or if anybody in the chat knows if there's going to be any more updates for the game. Um, it'd be good. I wish that there was. I know this is the ninja brain talking inside me, but I wish there was like a ninja track pack. I guess that's more for like Track Central, but I don't know. I really enjoyed Rise of the Dragon and Curse of the Demon so much that I wish I could have seen more of that content pumped out.
Those two tracks are probably one of the best Railings Ninjas, I'd say.
Yeah, and seeing as they haven't removed the glitch scores, that's a good point, Czar. There's still, what is it, 3 people are glitched out
Yeah,
scores?
if I'm gonna be fourth for the rest of Rising's existence, I will be mad.
Yeah, they've been on there for a while too. Yeah.
A month.
Red Links have confirmed that there won't be any more new updates. They stopped working on it.
Yikes.
And Frontier as well. So I know Aris is like the big Frontier guy. They're not working on that at the moment.
They actually cleaned up the donkey global leaderboard on Frontier. I mean, recently, so they're definitely doing something.
What does
I play a
updates
bit of
mean here,
Frontier.
anyways? I just want them to keep an eye on the game fix stuff. We've got enough content as it is. I think there is a lot of content. I'm really impressed with how much content there was with the Route 66 DLC and the Crash and Sunburn. I think that was more than I would have imagined in both of those. So there is a ton of content there, but it's a lot of these fixes that we need for Track Central UI. I mean, it still like logs you back to the world map sometimes. Like sometimes it'll just send you random spots when you're doing Track Central, and you won't end up back on the track that you literally just played, unlike previous games. It's a ton of these little nuances that kind of add up with the fixes. And the biggest fix that we're just hammering time and time again is the stuttering and the lag issues that consoles have been having still.
Yep. That's the worst.
Yeah, and
That's garbage.
and I know that you're on the OG Xbox console, right?
OG Xbox garbage. Get one every minute at least.
Yeah, and that was the main reason. Time and time again I say that is the main reason I switched to PC, and I recommend people play Trials Rising on PC. It's so obnoxious if you're not on that console. If you can deal with it, then so be it. Good on you. There's also a lot of tracks that you can't play on Track Central if you have the OG Xbox, the very first generation Xbox One or whatever that is.
Yeah.
That came out several years ago now. It's been a while.
I can deal with it, but it'd just be so much better if it wasn't there. It's so annoying.
Miss Rose was saying she wants more advanced Track Central search options and thumbnail loading. It's a good one. Sometimes the thumbnails do not load right away. It's a bit of an inconvenience. It's nice to see thumbnails. They're usually a pretty good indicator of what a track is going to be like. Although you can't always judge a book by its cover. Can't always judge a track by its thumbnail. It is a
Yeah.
nice thing to have, and
The
it,
entire Track Central UI is just not good. If they would just literally copy and paste a Fusion one, phenomenal. I don't know what
Mhm.
they're doing.
Chadwick also brought up a good one. Search bar in the editor would be a great one. I know that you can.
yeah, there's a lot.
Yeah, there's so much stuff in there. I know it's helpful that you can favorite stuff, and that is a big step in the right direction of like being able to conveniently manage your way around. And what I like to do is I just like to throw a bunch of objects like closer to the camera, like behind the camera basically, of like when you're looking at the track. I throw stuff behind the camera, and so I can like pick pieces out, and I guess I can like visualize more of like where I can place stuff, but that's always like one of the first processes that I have of building. But if you've
Yeah,
been
I
in the
see.
editor,
Like,
the amount of time that Chadwick has, like he's got so much time in there, then it would be very helpful because you know the names of like a lot of objects and you could just pin it down just by typing in just a couple letters, it'd pop up. Would be some good stuff. There's a public Google sheet with the full list of editor items. That's nice and all, but that's having to go into a third party type of thing. It'd be really nice to have it just in the game itself. And Larry's saying any optimizing of Track Central would be amazing. Like what would be the main ones to optimize in your opinion, Nova?
what like of the Track Central UI?
Yeah.
I just finding tracks. I know it sounds blunt, but like I don't know. I can't like find what I want to play. It's weird. Like like the trending tabs, like I feel like are weird. They're not like up to date. Like
Mhm.
having to find like new tracks is weird. I don't know. I just feel like they could do so much better. Like the Fusion one's perfect.
Yeah, I like to go with. I mean, there's way better options. I think finding speedrunning oriented stuff on Track Central, just because there's so much more of it, and I think it's a lot higher
True.
caliber. When you get to that, so like the staff picks and the community picks are highly comprised of the speedrun tracks. But I would like to see another section of that. I know that there's trending ninja tracks, but it's again those aren't really handpicked. They're just based on a ratio scale of
Yeah,
upvotes.
the
So that's
trending.
yeah. So that's the issue. I think there's a ton of tracks that have low decoration that end up at the very top of the trending ninjas that I don't really want to play a lot of the time.
Yep.
Oh yeah, that's a great one too. General Beam just said searching for authors. Definitely something that's needed. I love that feature so much in Fusion. There was how many different feeds you could have? There was like at least a dozen of just putting in. You know, you could just immediately search for a track creator. Boom, there's all their stuff.
I didn't
There's their
even
top rated stuff.
realize that's not in Rising. That's crazy.
Yeah, that was a really cool tool that I didn't really know about it for a long time on Fusion. And then I put in all my favorite builders. And then it's super easy to
That's what I
find
did.
their stuff.
Slick is like my number one like option, or whatever.
Yep. Yeah, I think some of the people that I would save onto my list of creators would be Slick, Jamaican, Confused Muscles, Plop. Rafu has a ton of tracks. It's crazy how many tracks Rafu has on Fusion. Dave. There's so many other builders that I'm not naming. Just like I would pick the builders that have pages upon pages of ninja tracks and be just absorbed in the unlimited amount of content it seemed. with Fusion. It's a very, very handy way to search up tracks. Trav, that's a good one
Yep.
too, Drell. Yep, Trav.
Zach.
Zach. Can't forget about Zach. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I don't know. It's weird that they strayed away from that. But, anyways, man. Do you have any more, like, blaring questions that you want to ask me or ask the chat or anybody else in chat, vice versa? Do you guys have any more questions? We're probably going to wind it down here in the next couple minutes, honestly.
Not any off the top of my head.
What'd you think of the podcast, man? I know that you've been wanting to get on for quite a while. I'm glad I could get you on it finally.
Yeah, I think I said I wanted to be on it like when it was in its prime, I guess you could say.
Mm-hmm.
So be on it now.
Yeah, you were on the list for a long time. I don't know how we never really got to you, but here we are now. Miss Rose was asking if Nova played your new track yet.
I don't know which one, but I think I played like a level 1 buyer, like all back wheel.
Miss Rose, I don't know. Actually, I might have. Have I played your newest one, Miss Rose? There was the compilation. There was like 3 tracks that had the floating crystals in the background. Do you play those ones?
Yeah, I think I did play one of those, but I think there's a level 4 version, but I
Mhm.
haven't played that.
Yeah, serious. That was the level 4 version. That was the most recent. Oh, Ganaja D was asking, how much time do you spend grinding a speedrun?
Like on average, like to get a record, I guess,
Mm-hmm.
probably like an hour, I'd say, maybe like a little under, but it depends on how strong the record is. I know I've played like Niet, for example, for I think 7 hours straight for once, and I didn't even get it. I've been playing Fascinating Favela recently, and I don't know what it is, but I just can't get the record on it. It's been like 5 hours total, so it all depends.
I
But
can't
on
believe I
average,
didn't.
an hour.
I can't believe I didn't ask this question before, but thanks for bringing that one up, Ganaja D. Um, what was the longest grind you've ever had on a speedrun line? Or actually, maybe any grind in general. I guess it can be ninja or speedrun.
I'd have to say Niet. Like that's the first one that comes to my head.
Mm-hmm.
Ninjas. I don't think I've really had like a huge grind on any ninja track. I don't think I've timed out on a ninja more than 6 times, I'd say. I don't have the same drive that I do in ninja speedrunning.
I don't quite have that drive anymore either. It's so annoying when you
Yeah.
time out on track a few times. What I'll typically do is I'll time out on a track, I don't know, maybe a few times, and I'll be like, all right, I'm gonna set this to the side. I'm gonna take a little break from it, and then I'll come back to it.
Yep.
And you know, it's important to find those tracks in your Goldilocks zone where they push you enough. You're getting hundreds of faults, and you're learning, you know, new techniques, or you're perfecting really hard techniques, and then you're able to go back and you're able to play these really tough. So there's no how long did it take you for like a diamond medal on black belt? Was that a pretty big grind for you?
No, actually, surprisingly. I
Surprisingly
remember
not. Nice.
so when I first passed it, I remember it took me like 5 timeouts, I'd say. But going back after a few months, I remember I titled my stream like day 1 black belt diamond grind, and it took me like that day.
Wow.
So I kind of overestimated how easy I guess it'd be for me,
Yeah,
or hard.
definitely. I don't know if Seth. I don't think Seth was here at the beginning of this stream. Can you go over again, like how you got into trials, just for anybody that might have missed it at the start?
Well, a friend from school recommended it to me. I've always liked like leaderboards oriented competitive stuff, so I found it fun. Yeah, I got my first record, I think, in 2015.
Mm-hmm. So that was a couple years after you like started
Yeah, like
the
2
journey on Evo.
years. I never really got into it till like a year or two afterward. I
Okay.
started getting platinum medals and stuff.
Yeah, it's always a friend. It's always somebody that usually gets people into trials whenever I talk to them. It was a bit of a different story for me. Nobody really recommended me trials. I I wanted to play Limbo, and then I got the added bonus of Explosion Man with it, but it was that combo deal back at the Xbox Arcade with HD.
I know what you're talking about.
That was probably one of the best pickups I've ever had in my entire life, and it got me down the path of playing trials. But I was very casual player for a very long time. For probably yeah, it was like several years because when HD came out, like 2009, 2008, yeah,
8 or 9.
yeah. So it's crazy. I'd probably play trials for like a month, and then I'd move on to like Call of Duty, Halo, Gears of War. Like those are the three back then that I was like really into.
Yeah.
And then every single time a new trial series came, I was like, oh, sweet! I'm gonna play some more of that bike riding game that is like the hardest platform that I've ever played. I'm gonna enjoy this for another month. And then it wasn't until late 2016, early 2017 that I was watching videos on Ninja I was like, wait, there's user created stuff on this? I had no idea for several years. And then I was hooked just like that. I couldn't stop playing after I found that out. Another question for you, Nova. How many controllers have you broken?
I've never like on purpose.
Never just
like,
yeet
like,
it,
broke.
toss it?
No, I've never done that. On trial, I've done it once on COD, but on trials, I've never done it. I've like worn controllers out just by flicking the stick around for
Yep.
years.
Little
but
left right, a little too much left right action
Yeah.
really wears it down.
I've probably gone through like 3 controllers in my time.
Yeah, I've
Not as much as other
do you,
people.
so when you're doing, that left right action, when you're really busting out the speedrun sessions, do you wear down the left thumbstick a ton?
Like the grip comes off.
Yeah, like for me, it's usually like the bottom half of my left thumbstick will get worn down and it becomes super slippery.
Oh yeah, I'm pretty sure that happens to me.
That's one of the biggest problems that I have. And then sometimes, like one of my controllers, the blue Xbox controller that had like the left bumper somehow got stuck. I don't know how that worked. And then the A and X buttons have gotten jammed before on my Xbox controllers, but I've never thrown one. I might have thrown like a Nintendo 64 controller or a GameCube controller way back in the day, but that's probably it. When I was a young lad and I didn't have control over myself.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't. Yeah, no. I think when you play Trials enough, you don't really rage. You just kind of get into a flow, and you don't really
Yep.
care. You don't care so much anymore when you fail or when you need to bust out another run because you're like, oh, well, what's another hour compared to the thousands of hours that I've invested into this game?
I was saying this on stream, like my last stream. Like I don't really get mad at trials really anymore. Like on speedrunning, like I'm just sitting there doing the same thing for hours. It's like I can't really get mad. What it is. Ninjas, I do get kind of mad, but not like mad.
Yeah, you kind of get into a trance. At least for me, do you feel this too? Like you get into a trance when you're like busting out a new PB or you're trying to get a record or something, and you're like you just feel it and it just becomes almost automated. You get autopilot at a certain extent, and you just get that muscle memory down so well. It feels so satisfying.
Yep. That happens.
You dented a wall with a controller, but never actually broken a controller. My dog. I still haven't fixed up my right Joy-Con on my Switch. My dog bit it probably earlier. It was like earlier this year. I still haven't fixed that one. That's like the most broken controller I've ever had. It's the dog biting it. My puppy biting it. Oh, I got one more question for you. You were talking about dogs before we started up. What type of dog do you have?
It's a Chihuahua mixed with a wiener dog.
Oh, okay.
Small little guy.
Small little feller. Have you ever owned like a golden retriever or a labs, or what are your favorite
Yep.
types of dogs?
My last dog was a golden retriever.
Best dogs. Goldens and
Yep.
labs, man. Those are the best dogs that you can own. I swear. You will not be sorry if you own one. All right, you guys. Well, I think that's about gonna wrap it up for the podcast today. Thank you everybody in the chat
All right.
that was chilling in here and providing some valuable questions and whatnot as we're chatting about who knows what around the trial series. Nova, thank you again so much for being here. You're a fucking legend.
No problem, man.
Yep.
I appreciate it.
And I want
Happy
you
to
to
be on.
I want you to keep busting out those records. And I can't wait to see you playing in T's tourney and hopefully in my Track Central speedrun tourney.
Yep. I'll most likely be there.
Awesome, dude. All right, it was fun, guys. That's gonna be it for today. I was thinking of streaming right after this, but I just got done with a trip. I was with my dad this week. A lot of traveling around and whatnot, so I'm pretty beat now. I'm gonna call it a day, but I will definitely be back on tomorrow for some streaming. So see ya, everybody. Make sure you guys follow Nova on Twitch and YouTube.
Oh yeah.
And let us know whenever you pop up the streams, man. Got to get the crew in there.
Yeah, I want to start streaming again a little bit more.
More consistent. That's my goal for you. More consistent streams. Okay?
Yep.
Let's do it.
I'll try.
All right, guys. Have a good one. And I'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.